Ivan here from FordMuscle.com. I wanted to give you guys an update. So as you'll see in some of the other videos, I've already begun to tear the Mustang down. Got the IRS out of it, got the old gas tank out of it, and now I just wanted to give you guys an update on all the parts that we're going to be using to refresh this thing. So my plan is to basically go ahead and go in and put new ball joints in this thing, check all the bushings, make sure the steering rack's in good shape, just do all the maintenance items since this thing has 210,000 miles on it. I just want to make sure that this thing is safe on track and everything's kind of been overlooked. I've had my hands on everything. So today I've laid out all the parts on the floor that we're going to be using to bring this thing back to as stock as possible. And then you also notice that I did put the newer 04 Cobra IRS in, the fresher one, the low mileage one that I mentioned in one of the other videos. I already got that installed last night. I needed a second set of hands, so I had a buddy here last night, so that worked out pretty well. But I'll go ahead and turn the camera around and kind of show you guys what we're going to be installing over the next couple of days to get this thing back on track and having a good time. All right, guys, as you can tell, this is what I was talking about. I got everything laid out on the floor just so I can kind of walk you through what we're going to be installing and why. So I'll kind of walk over through the front suspension first. So I'm missing a couple items here because I'm waiting on the spindles and the calipers and the caliper brackets to come back from powder coat. I'm going to rebuild those, as I mentioned. So I sent them off to my buddy to have them powder coated and blasted so they're ready to go and they're nice and fresh. Here's all the old parts here. You can see the old ball joint is destroyed. I mean, this thing is just toast. Old rotor, obviously we're not going to reuse that. And this old shock, I mean, there was just no, there was nothing left in this thing. I mean, it wouldn't even come back up if you push it down. We did go ahead and put brand new ball joints in. Check the lower control arm bushings. They seem to be in good shape. And then we went to Bear for their two-piece rotor to kind of lighten up the rotating mass in the front. And also we went to them for all the seals, the dust boots, the banjo bolts, and all the hardware that we needed, including the stainless steel brake lines, to get this thing, you know, get the brake system refreshed and get it back on the road. As well as those low mileage Bilstein shocks that I mentioned off an 04 Cobra. I did pick up a new hub for this side. I did also re-grease it with some nice track ready grease. And then, like I mentioned before, we went to Steeda, and Steeda's hooked us up with the correct brake pads that we need for this application to get this thing just out and safe on track. So these are great pads. The crew at Steeda recommended these. We told them what we needed, and they sent over what their recommendation was from Hawk. Back here, as I mentioned, you'll see that the IRS is already in, lower mileage one. And then down here, just like the front, we're using a Bear rotor, two-piece, lighten it up a little bit, Hawk pads from Steeda. And then what's really nice, I didn't feel like rebuilding the rears because they're a big pain in the butt to rebuild because of the e-brake mechanism. So Bear actually carries these calipers that are exactly the same as what you'd find on a, I think, 99 04 Mustang. They're ready to go. They're cheap enough to buy. I think they're under $100 a piece. So instead of having those rebuilt and powder coated, I just ordered up a set along with my other brake parts and made it easy. Stainless steel brake line again, and a nice rear Bilstein shock to get this IRS refreshed. And I've mentioned this before in the video, but this is also the 03 Cobra, 03 04 Cobra factory sumped gas tank that we're going to be installing in this thing to make sure that we don't have any fuel starvation on track. The last thing I'll mention is I did go in and clean up some of this rust, and I sprayed it down with some SEM undercoating, some really nice high quality stuff. Dries really fast, so that should really help out. Get rid of some of the corrosion back there. Here's the other side, and some of the old stuff. So yeah, that's really it. At this point, I'm gonna bolt this thing back together, wait for the hubs to come back from powder coating, and then yeah, it'll be on to the next project. All right, so I almost forgot. I actually have to get the new tires mounted onto or for the Cobra. So what I wanted to do is just get a tire that was similar to what came factory on this vehicle. But obviously this vehicle is 20 years old, so tire performance has come a long way. But we wanted the same size, similar tread wear as well. So this is a 300 tread wear tire. It's a great ultra high performance summer tire from Falcon. So I'll kind of show you what we're going to be working with. So we have 03 Cobra original anniversary wheels that we're going to be using and taking these Cooper tires off. I want something fresh, so yeah, we hooked up with Falcon and got their Zenith FK 510s. Great summer ultra high performance tire. It works well in the dry and the wet, so for the baseline testing I think this tire is going to be perfect. The last thing that I really wanted to kind of talk about was we're rebuilding the engine for this project right now, but I didn't want to reuse the old radiator. It's got 210,000 miles on it. It's super crusty. I mean, it's got things growing on it because this car was sitting for about 4 years. I don't know what's inside. I'm sure it's super funky inside, so I didn't want to push all that nasty funk through the brand new engine. Also, not to mention the fan shroud here has got these clips broken for the sensor, so really it was just really easy to just go ahead and buy something new. So I actually went to Steeda's website and saw that they have this kick-ass fluid ion radiator. This thing, it increases efficiency, so it'd be perfect for us since we're doing track days. It's about twice as thick as the factory core. It bolts right in. I mean, super easy. Again, Steeda.com made it really easy. A couple days shipping to me here in Tennessee. So I'll show you guys the radiator. It's a beautiful piece. Got this nice fan shroud. I believe I got it from Rock Auto. Bolts right in, no big deal. The welds on this thing are obviously beautiful. This thing bolts right into the factory location. No big deal, simple install. Increases efficiency. As you can tell, this bad boy is thick. Bolts right in. It's got all the factory mounts in the back. Little petcock to drain the fluid. So yeah, I mean, this thing should really help us out. Increase the efficiency and make sure that this thing stays cool on track, because we're really going to drive this car hard over the next 2 years. We plan to do a ton of track days, HPDE events, maybe some time attack stuff as we develop the chassis. But yeah, so right now, going to kind of wrap up this, prepping for the first track day piece of content. And then, yeah, just stay tuned. We'll keep you guys updated.